Gen Z and Millennials have nothing left to give. What do I mean by that? Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're going to talk about it. So, Millennials were told growing up by our baby boomer parents that we could be whatever we wanted to be. In fact, I remember as young as kindergarten being asked that question. It was some kind of play I was at. We were all in the crowd, my friends. I was in the crowd in the way back. And they were talking about this. They were talking about somehow they got in. I can't remember. My memory's vague. It was over 20 years ago. I'm that old. But I remember one of the people on stage, they were asking, what do you want to be when you grow up? And, one girl said nothing, but that's besides the point. I just remember, I don't know. What should I be? I've been told that I could be anything I want to. I still didn't know back then. But, that's what millennials grew up with. We grew up being told that you can be anything you set your mind to, honey. You can do anything. You can, whatever you feel like doing, if you just put your mind to it, if you just put your nose to the grindstone, you can do whatever you want to. The sky's the limit. You can be Katy Perry and you can fly to the fucking moon if you want to. Alright? Fly into space. You can do whatever the hell you want to. You could be the next Michael Jackson. You could be the next Bruno Mars. You could be the next The Weeknd. Right? Guys like The Weeknd, right? You can be whoever you want to. You just gotta put your nose to the ground. You just gotta work hard enough. So what happened? They all went to universities, right? They all graduated high school. They worked their ass off. They went to universities. They graduated from these universities, right? By the way, which were also filled with baby boomers as professors. What do you know? Baby boomers as professors. And baby boomers are trustworthy, right? The baby boomer generation would never lie about something, about something so important. Like, bettering ourselves, bettering our futures, bettering ourselves financially. The baby boomers would never lie about that, right? The universities would never just take your money on a whim, right? Right? There are no bad people out there, right? The schools would just never intentionally hold back information, like how to balance a checkbook back then, or how to pay your rent, or how to find the best apartment, or how to invest in stocks. No, school would never deliberately hold in any of the important information that you would actually need to become a fully functional adult in this society, right? No, of course not. So what happened, right? They graduated from universities, some with doctors, some with lawyers. Some studied other degrees. And then what happened? 2008 financial crisis happened, right? We went into a recession, which we still have not recovered from to this day, by the way. It's only gotten worse. We have never recovered from that recession, excuse me. And many of us graduated at the peak of the recession. 2008, 2009, we were told, good luck. You're entering into the worst job market, the economy's ever been. This economy has never had a worse job market. We're entering into a horrible recession right now. Everything is extremely high. Houses are getting bought up by the block, on the block by investors. Nobody's able to buy anything. There are no jobs. Good luck. That's what we're told. Good luck. It's going to be really hard. Good luck. Hopefully you can find something with your now useless degree that you spent 4 or 5 years studying for in university. Good luck, they said. And they were right. A lot of us ended up in minimum wage jobs, working in Starbucks, working at McDonald's, Taco Bell, whatever job we can get our hands on. Hoping, praying that someday we were going to be able to get something in our field, right? For a lot of us, that never happened. Some of us, that might, some of us, yeah. Some millennials had luck. Some millennials lucked out. A lot of us never did. Take Millennials team, for instance. Millennials team studied in the university for half his life to become a professor. Got out of the university. Half your life in the university. I mean, just imagine it. Half your life in the university. You got out of the university. Couldn't find a job ever as a professor. His whole dream crushed. His whole entire dream crushed. And now he does YouTube and lives in a roach-infested apartment. And no offense to you, Millennial Esteem, but I'm just giving an example of how rigged and broken the system is. So that won't happen. Then Gen Z started going into middle school. Then Gen Z started going into high school. And they were fed the same crap, right? Go to the university. Study something useful. You'll get a good paying career afterwards. So a lot of Gen Z did the same thing. They went to university, studied something useful, got out, bam. COVID hit. Some of them got out right when COVID hit. Some of them got out of high school right when COVID hit. And what happened? Still, they couldn't find any jobs, and the market's worse than it's ever been. The market is twice or 3 times worse than it's ever been since 2008. We have rent sky fucking high. We have never had rent prices this high. Ever. We have never had... I have a friend that's paying $1,700 for rent right now for an apartment. He has no money. He has no money. He can't afford it. Me and my friend were talking about this. He told him, he's like, yeah, he's thinking about moving back into his mom's house, even though his mom doesn't even want him to live with him. Why? Because the rent's so expensive. $1,700. That's $1,700 with a one in front of it. $1,700. 107,000 smackaroos a month. Now, I don't know if the place is a luxury apartment. I don't assume he's living in a luxury apartment since he's working in the factory with me. All right? I assume it's maybe an average, could be a slightly average or, maybe slightly above average apartment. I don't know. But the fact that he's paying that much for a $1,700 apartment, I mean, he told me he lives, it's not in the ghetto, but it's not in luxury either. So the city is, you're not going to get shot in the city. But again, you're not living in a very nice, for example, take Schaumburg, Illinois. It's a very nice city. You're not living where all the rich white folks are here, right? He's a Mexican, he's a Mexican guy living in, I think he said Mundelein or Palatine. I don't know. I'm not going to mention his name, obviously, for privacy reasons, but the point is, Gen Z and millennials have nothing left to give. Like, society has taken everything from millennials and Gen Z. So when you take everything from millennials and Gen Z, when you take job opportunities away, good paying jobs away, you have jobs being shipped over, manufacturing jobs being shipped overseas. You have no jobs for all these university graduates that are graduating right now. They're in a shit ton of debt. They feel hopeless. They feel like they're never going to get a career, and you know what? They're probably not going to get they're probably never going to get a career with their degree, unfortunately. And if they do, they're going to be very lucky to get it. But there's so much competition. The market is so saturated right now with all these different jobs that Gen Z just doesn't see any hope. There is some light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, there are some Gen Z that are going into the trades again, but like, how much is the money going to be worth in the trade? Even if you're making $25, $30 an hour once you get out of trade school, how much is that money going to be worth, guys? With how hyperinflation is, with how corporations are price gouging the shit out of their food, out of all their products, with gas going up, with how much more are the rent prices going to go up? How much is that $25 to $30? Even if you're an apprentice making $30 to $35 an hour right now, how much is that? That's nothing. That used to be 5-10 years ago. You could, oh my God, dude, you'd be balling. You'd be fucking rich practically. If you were just renting a modest apartment or a studio, you were making $35 an hour like 5-10 years ago, dude, you'd be so set. You would be absolutely set. No problem. There'd be zero issue. But we're not living in that time period anymore. We're not living in 2014, 2015 anymore. We're living in 2025 where we have to deal with this massive hyperinflation, this ridiculous corporate price gouging, this corporate greed we're seeing everywhere. I mean, it just seems like everyone's out to make a quick buck, grab $1 from you, right? Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. And then you got the baby boomers saying you just need to pull yourself up. Again, you just need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You got, you know, some brainwashed younger folks. You got to say, lock in. And I get it. You can lock in to a certain extent. All right? You can lock into a certain extent. But when you have everything stripped away from you, what else do you have to lose? When you can't afford a car, you can't have any family. There's no family. You can't afford a house. Can't have a family. Can't have anything nice. No dog. Nothing nice. You are living paycheck to paycheck. You are renting everything. You have nothing. You're renting an apartment if you're lucky. That's if you're lucky. Most people are renting an apartment with roommates, or they're renting a house with roommates. And that's it. Your life is just pay. Pay to rent. Everything is pay to rent now. Subscriptions, rent for apartments. You know, you got people paying car loans. You got people paying for credit cards. You got people paying on Klarna for food because food is so fucking expensive. You got people paying for food on sites like Klarna, for God's sakes. Taking out cash advances for food, putting food on credit cards and paying it back later. Like, this is not the future that millennials were promised. This is not the future that Gen Z was promised. We are getting absolutely royally fucked from every single side. And we're told to deal with it. We are still ashamed about it. We're still told to deal with it. No. And Gen Z saying no. And that's why I said in one of the previous video, at least they have the balls to say no. We didn't say no to this. We just kept it. Most millennials I know, we didn't say no to this. We put our heads down and we just dealt with it. But they're saying no. They're moving back in with their parents, or they're finding ways to survive. I mean, kind of Walking Dead style, kind of, if you ask me. I mean, but whatever way you need to survive. You know, grow vegetables if you want to. Some are buying RVs and traveling. I support that. I think that's a good life. Better life than wasting it in a job for 11, 12 hours a day in the same fucking place you got to be at in the morning again. Better do that. Better travel the world in an RV, or I've even seen a Gen Zer who, I can't remember his name, but he has a really good channel. I've even seen a Gen Zer who just, I don't know how much money he has, if he's rich, but I've even seen a Gen Zer who is traveling the seas, in his own boat that he has, and he vlogs about it. He vlogs about like the problems that he faces along the way. He vlogs about getting the boat ready. Like, he'll show the setup for his boat and what he has to do to get it ready. So like, Gen Z is, they're a lot braver than us. At least they're willing to do what, most millennials never did. They're willing to take risks. They're willing to take chances. They see that there's pretty much no light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to this economy, when it comes to these employers. They just ask more and more and more and more and more. All these employers ask more and more and more and more, and they don't give anything back. They give nothing back. Like, these employers have nothing to give. So when you take everything from somebody, when you take everything from a generation, and the only thing that you really have left to do, the only thing you can really do, the only weapon or tool in your arsenal that you really have left is to just shame them and say, well, you need to do this because if you don't, you're not contributing to society. Fuck society. Fuck society. There has to be something to contribute for. There has to be a reason to contribute to society. Right? Nobody's just going to contribute to society for free. Nobody's just going to work for you for free. Nobody's just going to put their head down and work for you for free while you give nothing back. I had a meeting today at work. The same old bullshit. Same old bullshit about safety regulations. Oh, we have people who aren't working hard. You really got to work harder. Our customers, blah, 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 fucking blah, 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 the customers. I don't give a fuck about the customers. It's all about this. It's all about the money. They don't give a fuck about the customers. They don't give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck about anything but the company. So it's the same old shit. Blah, blah, blah. We need to, reach the quota for the customers. Blah, blah, blah. We need more money. It's the same old shit. Money, 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 money. Money, like Justin Bieber said. That's the only thing they care about. And meanwhile, they're giving nothing back to us. Absolutely nothing. We either rent shitty 1-bedroom apartments or we live with a bunch of roommates. We own nothing. And that's it. We're going to work. They have created a way, this system, this economy, the way these jobs are, they've created the way, the government has created a way, these corporations have created a way in which everybody's just a literal slave. Everybody's just a literal slave. You go to work, you come home, you don't own anything. The only thing that you own temporarily is the food, if you can even afford the food that you buy and that you put in the refrigerator that usually either goes bad within 1 to 2 days or you eat within 1 to 2 days. That's the only thing most people have. All right? Like I told you guys, I have a really old computer, I have a table, I have a chair, and I have my busted up fucking car. I don't even own it. I don't even have a fucking bed. I don't even own a fucking bed. That's how poor I am. So, Gen Z, again, I commend you. Millennials, I hope a lot of you are waking up and you're realizing that this society is that this sham, this scam that we're living in, this rate system is never going to get better. And you just go out and do your own thing while you still can. I know many of you are older, in your 40s, but I really hope that you can muster up the courage. I know that a lot of you have been defeated. I know a lot of Gen Z have been defeated, but guys, I'm telling you, now is probably the best time. Now is the best time than there's ever been in history. Now is better late than never, or I should say. Better now than later. Now is the best time to be an entrepreneur, to do your own thing, to make money. Make enough just to, whether you want to make a lot of money or you're going to go for, you're going to try to make a lot of money, or you're just going to try to make enough money to survive. Maybe you want to get a cheap RV. Maybe you want to travel. You want to travel alongside a mountain or something, and you want to just stop occasionally to eat, take photos of, beautiful views or whatever it is, whatever kind of lifestyle you want to live. But now is the time to do what you want to do, because I'm telling you guys, these companies don't give a single goddamn fuck about you. And I wish that I just started something sooner. I wish that I had just started this channel sooner, or did some kind of entrepreneurship or some kind of thing, learn some kind of skill sooner. But, again, like the saying goes, better late than never. At least I'm doing it now, and I'm grinding. So I say, I really don't like that word, but I guess you could say it. I'm hustling. I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to get, even if I can get, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, I could live very minimalistically. I could travel somewhere, and I'd be fine. I'd be totally fine if I could get a passive income or do something. I love doing YouTube for you guys, and I'm very fortunate to get money from this as well. If I could find something else as well that would give me enough income to make around $1,500, $2,000, again, I'd be living minimally. I'd be traveling. I'd be out of here. I'd be out of the States, man. I'd be out of the States, because you only get one life, guys. You really only get one life. And all these distractions that we have going around, whether it's you know, Donald Trump's tariffs or whatever's on fucking CNN or any of the mainstream news media outlets that you know that are spewing bullshit, that are all bought and paid for. Everything, all these things are distractions, and it's okay to do it once in a while. Like, if you want to play video games, you want to watch TV, it's okay. But just keep that in the back of your mind that this is the only life you're going to get. And if you're not going to work for yourself, if you're not going to do something creative, if you're not going to do what you want to do, then you're going to be working for these corporations building their dream. And that's just the way it's going to be. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of that. I've worked for these warehouses and these corporations for the last 10 years, and I've got nothing to show for it. So, that's the end of the video. Hope you liked this very long rant. Let me know what you think of it. Put a comment down below if you like this video. Like if you like this video, and let me know your guys' thoughts. So, yeah, guys. Deconstructing narcissism, you know. I hope you liked the video. You only get one shot in this life. You only get one shot. You only get one chance to do what you want to do. So don't spend it. Don't spend the rest of your life working for these fucking corporations. Do what you love to do. Whether you need a lot of money for that, or whether you just need a basic minimalistic lifestyle. Maybe you're only I don't know, you're only earning like $1,000 or $1,500 a month, and you just want to travel in an RV or whatever. Whatever it is you want to do, you know. But anyway, I gotta go inside. It's late. Till next time, guys. Talk to you in the next video. Take care.